All right, everybody. Let's do a Beach Boys acapella. Okay.
Okay.
Which song?
Which one?
I let's do I Get Around. Okay.
Okay,
I'll,
go
I'll
ahead.
start. I'll start. Get around, round, round. I'll get
I get
around.
around,
I
get
get
around.
around.
I get around.
Round time. Everybody slap on those board shorts and apply that sunscreen because you're listening to Stacked Episode 3. Summer movies, baby. Woo-hoo! I am your host, Ethan, along with...
Brandon.
And Chris.
And today, we're talking all about those summer movies. You know, it's hot outside, but you can't go outside because now the United States is entering the worst peak there is right now, currently, as we're recording this on June 24th. It's going to come out a while after, but it seems like we're going to be spending most of this summer indoors, fellas. So what better way to spend those than watching movies that remind us about the summer season and going outside and enjoying the weather and the fun and your friends and ice cream and dancing and all that jazz, right, boys?
I miss it.
Yeah.
I miss
Yeah.
it so much. I want to go outside. I mean, I spent my summers pretty much like indoors working and stuff like that, but like I really just want to go out with friends at this moment, and I really can't do that. It sucks.
Stupid. But anyways, what have you two been doing this week to occupy that void of summertime? What have you been watching? What's been going on? Chris?
All right. I guess I'll go first. So, as most of you guys know, I am actually in Hong Kong right now, where the situation is a lot better by comparison. So, even then, I do I would say like maybe out of the 7 days in a week, I spend maybe 2 or 3 of them out and the rest at home. So when I'm at home, I'll usually be watching movies, playing video games and whatnot. But so like, was it yesterday? No, like 2 days ago, I actually went to a movie theater for the first time at the time was 110 days. And I saw an IMAX re-release of The Dark Knight, which is my favorite movie of all time. And I don't want to make you guys too jealous, but I'm going to tell you this, that when you guys finally go to the movie theater eventually, it's going to melt your mind to see a picture that beautiful and a sound system that, insanely like captivating. It was honestly like kind of like going in. It was kind of like what I expected going in a spaceship felt like.
Oh, you lucky son of a bitch.
What a picture.
What a
Oh,
picture.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been watching some pretty fun movies lately. I finally saw Just Mercy. My dad recommended this movie called Buddha's Palm that literally no one has seen. I'm pretty sure. Like it
Really?
only has like 5 or 6 reviews on Letterboxd. But yeah, and like I saw Donnie Darko and stuff like that. So, just like
Overrated.
watching movies, overrated. But yeah, just watching movies that I've never seen before. Just kind of catching up, I guess. But other than that, it's just been kind of trying to keep myself occupied. How about you guys? How about you, Brandon?
Mostly staying inside, watching movies, hanging out with the fam. My sister's back for a few weeks, and I think this is her last week back. So we've been watching stuff. We watched a few movies last night that we'll get into later. And yeah, I mean, I watched a big trilogy like this. What was it? What was it? Japanese? I think it was. Yeah, it's like a 9-hour Japanese trilogy of films about anti-war people in Japan during World War II. And it was about these like labor camps, and our protagonist, who we see over the course of 9 hours, evolve into this like warmonger essentially. And it's like weird how his conviction never changes and his determination never changes, but him as a character changes so much over those 9 hours that you really feel like the world is like not only lived in, but that you're kind of a part of it. And I loved it. So if you get a chance, it's called the Human Condition trilogy. I know it's a lot to put on people, but it's so good. It's like amazing.
Was
Also,
that
Twitter
the
famous. I'm Twitter famous now.
was the Human Condition the trilogy that you watched right after watching Barney's Great Adventure?
That is correct.
Right, lovely.
Excellent films.
Very
All of them.
That is also part of the human condition. But let's get into this your little claim to fame right here. Can you? This was
explain what happened.
This was quite an evening for me to sit back and watch this all go down. Yeah, just tell us the deets. Tell us what happened.
All right. Well, I'm pretty active on Twitter, as Ethan and Chris both know. I retweet a lot. I post a lot. I'm a very opinionated person, and I am not really. I don't really have the largest following. I have like 200 plus followers on both Instagram and Letterboxd, so that's pretty sizable of a following. But apparently, somebody on film Twitter got a hold of one of my lists that I made, which is ranking every movie I've ever seen. And for people who don't know, I've seen over 2,500 movies. You know, this is like not really easy to make. And he was basically making fun of me for it. He was like, I woke up having nightmares about this guy's list. I was like, what is this? I'm like, what do you mean? And then like, I was like, well, I didn't think it was my list at first, but I scrolled through the comment section.
But we worked through it together. I remember you're like, is this me? And then we started like putting pieces together. He's like, what's his favorite film? Back to the Future.
And I'm like, a lot of people's favorite movies.
So like, okay, it could be anybody. But then someone asked, how many films are on this list? And he said 2,780. And I quickly went over to your list, and that's the exact amount. So I was like, we got him. But also, another clue is that like the person tweeted Robert Franco, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
He's a Chapman alum. He's a film studies student as well. So maybe
I didn't know him. So
I've never met this dude in my life either. But maybe that's some way he got connected to you, you know, and found this list. But oh man, it was so funny to just watch this all go down. You trying to respond to every single, like almost every reply in the tweet. I was having a field day.
Good time.
And I just replied with the picture of you, just like, yep, that's me. That's me.
I wanted to turn it around. So what I did is I retweeted and I was like, give me follows. Like I'm not gonna let you hate on me for my list. And I got 6 likes on my all-time list on Letterboxd.
There you go.
Following the other 20 that I already had. And then not only that, I got like 5, 6 follows, 7 follows, something like that.
Boy, you made some lemonade out of some lemons. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, Brandon, there's a part in that whole Twitter thread where someone said, what was his favorite movie? And then someone replied, before you said Back to the Future, or someone said Back to the Future, you said, someone else random was like, it's probably The Dark Knight. And then you said, I think it's overrated, but my best friend likes it.
And you had to loop Chris into it.
And then I was literally this close to just like unloading on all these fuckers on Twitter. And I was like, no, I'm not even going to try.
Well, it is a 4 out of 5 film, Chris.
No.
Gonna have to disagree there.
Okay.
Yeah, I disagree.
But Barney is the movie. Barney is the movie that we gotta watch. You know, that's
the movie. How many Barney movies are there? Can we make a stack out of it? Can we do a whole episode?
I don't know.
We should get who's a big Barney fan in our group? Justin or something. I feel like Justin's secretly a Barney fan.
Justin?
I don't really get that from Barney or him.
Do you guys remember that one phase in your life where for some reason every kid wanted to kill Barney?
No.
Yes.
Was that just a thing at my school where everyone just wanted to fucking kill Barney to like it's like they were trying to reject their youth and show that they've grown up. So they're like, yo, fuck Barney, and like and like they made songs about like roasting Barney on an open fire or something like that.
Oh no.
It was I admit I was in this like this group of trying to act mature and reject my childhood, but I don't know.
We weren't 8 like Barney movies.
8, okay, we could.
All right, we need one more.
There's a 9th one coming, produced by Daniel Kaluuya.
What? Wait, I think okay. Is Barney still like on air?
Yeah.
No, wait, is it? I
No,
think
it's not.
like it's still doing reruns, but I think they can't like it stopped, making new episodes.
Like what kids know Barney? Is that our generation or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, it
I
ran
feel like we
14
might have,
seasons.
yeah, we might have been the last generation of Barney stands. I don't
Of
know how else
Barney.
to.
Chris
Barney
stopped watching when it was canceled in 2009.
Yeah.
when Chris was 10.
Yeah. All
Oh
right.
my god.
Ethan,
Well,
what did you do this week?
I watched some films this week, but I think the most fun thing that I did this week was I watched the first season of Doom Patrol
What's that?
Oh,
on
you know what Doom Patrol is?
so it's a comic book show based off the DC characters Doom Patrol. I know nothing about Doom Patrol. Like I've never read their comics at all, even though I'm a really big DC fan. But this show, holy shit, it is so fucking good because the new season's coming out on the 25th, so I wanted to catch up before, and all the episodes are on HBO Max, and it is some of the most well written. It's not even a superhero show until like the last 3 episodes. And even when it's the last 3 episodes, there's 15 episodes. And even those last 3, it's kind of a superhero show. It's kind of like making fun of superheroes as a genre and what it's become. But it's at its core, it's really like this character piece about this group of people, this broken group of people who could like have to come together over these tragedies in their lives. And it's really weird. It's insanely absurdist and it's really funny, but it also gets like really dark and emotional. And it deals a lot with like mental health. There's some Me Too stuff in there. There's LGBTQ issues.
So it's like a better Joker.
It could be. And then the highlight is Brendan Fraser's in this fucking show as Robot Man. Brendan Fraser's this robot dude who is an 80s NASCAR driver, and he's the best in the show. He just swears up a storm, and he's just this pissed off robot the entire time.
I kind of disagree because I haven't seen the show, but I don't think he looks that badass.
You didn't even know what I was talking about before.
Brendan Fraser. Yeah.
But he's not himself in the show. He's a robot.
I remembered what you sent me. You sent me a picture, right? In our group chat.
Maybe I tweeted it. I tweeted out a gif of Brendan Fraser because I was expressing my love to him. But honestly, I formed my holy trinity of comic book shows where it's Daredevil's number 1. That will always be my favorite. Watchmen's number 2, the new Damon Lindelof Watchmen, because it was just so fucking incredible. It was so intelligent and a show that needed to come out at the time it did. And then Doom Patrol, which is like, it's nothing I've ever seen before. And I'm so excited for season 2 now because I just finished it all. But yeah, that was my week of binging.
Even like Professor Fury, like who like is a very difficult person to impress with film, like she was a big fan of Watchmen.
Yes.
So like, I mean, I personally haven't seen it yet, so I'm definitely going to. But I mean, that's a pretty interesting indication for me because I know like that's not really her forte. But right. Yeah, really interesting.
I would say if you want to start watching Watchmen, because I know, so you haven't watched it yet. And Brandon, you watched a couple episodes, right? Not even any? Okay. If you want to watch, first, get acquainted with the original comic by Alan Moore. But then second, watch Ava DuVernay's The 13th on Netflix.
I have seen that.
Yeah, I've seen that. Because like that documentary in this series, like a lot of themes of like of cops and sort of the evolution of racism and how it's never gone away since like slavery's been abolished. It's just changed into different things over time, and they express it through this intense superhero sci-fi show that's so well written, so well acted. Oh, it was one of my favorite things of last year. So
I think I need to watch it. Like I'm not sure about Doom Patrol.
Yeah, no.
Because once you started describing it, like I started to remember what it was, but like Watchmen looks great.
I think the marketing for Doom Patrol is really misleading. Like its promotional images, it looks like something like Titans, some like edgy, but it's really fucking out there and weird and creative.
It looked like The Boys.
Yeah, you think that because like it's all dark, but like it's not really. There's a lot of I don't know, I can't really describe it, but Doom Patrol is a fun time to watch, but Watchmen, I do think, is like a required viewing. I did on Juneteenth, I posted like required viewings for Juneteenth, and I think like that 13th and Spike Lee's Malcolm X, which I also watched this week, which I fucking loved. And
Got it right here.
really, oh, well, get on it,
I was
son.
literally
Come on.
holding it.
Watch it while we're recording.
No.
Okay. All right.
All right, should we get
So
into this?
we're 15 minutes in. Let's get into it. Let me run down what the show is. Once a week, we set a topic or theme and go our separate ways to construct our own 3-film stack. Then after a week, we come back here on the podcast and share our own stacks 1 film at a time. At the end of the show, we mix and match our 9 films to make the ultimate decision on what quintessential 3-film stack we are checking out of this hypothetical video store. So like we said in the very beginning, this week is summer movies, summertime, loving in the summertime. Let's see, who went first last week? Brandon, you did.
I did.
And then Chris went first the first time. So I'm going first this time.
No,
I'm going first. Let me go first, please.
I disagree.
Oh no! Don't waste your I disagrees on jokes, Brandon. I'm not gonna put them in the. I'm not gonna put
I'm
them
not
in the counter.
wasting them. That's something I don't think the host should go first.
But you okay? I'm going
No, go.
first.
Yeah.
Ignore the rule. Ignore the string bean. All right. So my stack, I also did an order for this episode. It's ordered by decade. So there's a different decade. It's not I skipped a decade, but there's 3 decades. And also I feel like different points in the summer. So I feel like this first film is a good beginning of summer film. And that's when everybody is going to the beach. Doo-doo. Doo-doo.
No.
Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo,
Really?
doo. Yes.
Oh,
My first film is Jaws.
yeah.
Steven Spielberg's Jaws. I mean, it had to be, I feel like it has to be on this list because it's the first blockbuster. Everyone has to remember that. This thing knocked down the door and opened it up for more high concept films. It made people terrified of sharks. It made people not want to go in the water during those hot summer days, which is quite a feat. I don't think a movie has ever made such a effect of fear upon people. Feel free to correct me. I don't know. Do you think any other film has made such a big an impact as that? Like, can you associate an entire species of creatures with a film? You know, maybe Planet of the Apes. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe
I mean, the only other film that comes to mind that has had such a an impact on horror, horror iconography and how people are terrified of things now are either maybe The Exorcist or maybe a couple of the slashers.
Yeah, maybe Halloween.
Yeah. But yeah, I do definitely agree that Jaws is a very strong summer film, but also the impact it had on the industry, and also it's just a great movie. I mean, Spielberg's directorial debut. It's pretty fucking crazy.
Is it? It's not really.
Is it?
I think it's his big budget debut.
Yeah.
Because he did
Sugarland Express
and Duel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Love Duel. But
Duel's way better than Jaws.
You're out of your mind.
No, Jaws is
Duel is
overrated.
fantastic. No,
Jaws is overrated,
dude.
Guys, I'm sorry,
but the tall man is wrong. Okay.
The acting in that movie is
great.
No, it's not.
So what are you talking about? Richard Dreyfuss.
Richard Dreyfuss is
Snyder.
so good.
Are you fucking crazy?
He's better in All That Jazz than he is in fucking Jaws.
Sorry. The scene, the calm before the storm where they're sharing scars on the boat.
Oh, so good.
Is iconic.
I don't like that scene.
What is wrong with you?
I think Jaws is. I think it's a good horror movie. I just don't think it's as good as people say it is.
That's because you're not near a body of water. You're out in the desert.
Yeah, it's probably true. To be honest,
I'm by the Great Salt Lake, so maybe a shark's in there.
Oh yeah, totally.
And
a lake.
In a lake.
Chris is surrounded by water.
Yeah, Chris has more reason to be afraid of sharks, but he loves them.
Yeah.
Is that a defining feature of Chris? He loves sharks.
Well, I
No,
just
he
love
loved
sea animals.
sea animals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I couldn't think of a better movie to kick off this list than Jaws.
Yeah, I do really like this pick as well.
Also, it has a lot of connections to this summer. I mean, a certain someone's been getting a lot of connection to the mayor in Jaws, opening those
Oh,
beaches. You know what I'm saying?
Ron DeSantis of Florida.
that is interesting.
Yep, that's the dude I was talking about.
Yeah, I think Ethan was trying to be obscure with who he was talking about. Brent just
I
dropped
didn't want
the
to.
name.
I don't want to shout out the governor of Florida, but
No, that's the senator.
the
But
senator. Oh, sorry.
no, that's the governor. You're right.
Oh,
The senator of
not
Florida
sorry.
is somebody else.
I was right. Haha. But yeah,
Great.
Jaws. Whoa, great movie. Great movie. All right, Chris.
Oh, am I up next? Okay. So, my second pick is
You're first.
sorry, my first pick. Sorry,
We're not doing it yet.
we made this mistake.
I want to hear your first.
My first pick is actually from a director that we bagged on a little bit last week.
Oh,
It's a Wes Anderson film.
I know what movie this is.
It's Moonrise Kingdom.
Yes, that's a good choice.
I think I really, really enjoyed this movie. That childlike youth and innocence and like kind of happiness that this movie brings is so much fun. Like that whimsy and just charm is great. I know I'm really countering exactly what I said last week about him, but like I don't know, Moonrise. There's just something so like warm and fuzzy about that film, and I feel like albeit for like all the issues I may have with Wes Anderson's films, like I do think Moonrise is such a charming movie. Yeah.
Let me tell you why this is a better choice than Jaws. Okay, it's a better movie than Jaws. First of all, the reason why is you want your summer movies to be so happy, and Moonrise Kingdom is so happy. This movie is the first Anderson I ever saw. I think I saw it even before Fantastic Mr. Fox, and is such a like great movie about growing up because it doesn't trivialize growing up or like talk down to the kids in the movie. It like talks to them at a like equal level. And there's scenes in that movie where it's like, yeah, that would be amazing. If it was summertime, that would be what I want to do. And that's why it's a good choice, Chris. That's an excellent choice.
Yeah. Ethan, what's your input? I know you're kind of you like Anderson the most out of the three of us.
The tables have turned this episode.
What?
This is my least favorite Wes Anderson film.
Boo.
I do not like this movie.
Boo.
I compare this movie to someone on Letterboxd put it as like the paraphernalia you see in a TGI Fridays as a film, which I completely agree with. I think I really love Wes Anderson's style, but I think he just goes overboard in this film with his Anderson isms, and I don't find any of the characters likable in this movie. I think the acting is too flat. Like I think characters in Anderson's previous movies have a lot more depth than the characters in this movie. And this is really like the movie that I think is like launched Anderson like into mainstream, I believe. Because after this movie came out, like Saturday Night Live did the Wes Anderson horror film parody. And that's when like people started to see that like this dude is what Chris said in the last episode, which I don't agree with for the most part, except for this movie.
The only thing I'll agree with you, Ethan, is that the characters in this movie, in comparison to every other Anderson movie, do lack depth. But this is a fun movie. And this is what I want.
This movie is
to watch over summer.
Not fun. And the coloring's all off. Like I don't think of this movie when I think of summer. I think of fall for some reason. Even though it takes place during the summer, there's scouts. Like his color palettes are all off for this summer season.
Okay.
Guys, all right, editor, put up the counter. I disagree. Boom. There we go. All right.
Ethan doesn't get one.
Yes, I do. I edit these. I get one. Put it in a different font. Make it all special. Put it on a marble pedestal. Put a light over it. I'm giving myself more work.
All right, Brandon.
Brandon.
All right. So I wanted to do a movie that, or an order that spoke to me. So when I think of summer, I think of, because summer when you're an adult doesn't hit right, but summer when you're a kid hits right because it's like right right at when you get your freedom, you know? So I wanted to do successive from beginning of summer to the end of summer.
Hmm.
So the first movie I chose is a Disney movie that was released to theaters in 2001, and it's called Recess, School's Out.
Oh, for fuck.
It's a good movie.
Why didn't I
It's
do
a
something?
good movie. Recess, School's Out is like this perfect. It's about this principal, or not even a principal, a government person who wants to get rid of recess and get rid of summer vacation. And the kids of the school uncover a conspiracy of a plot so that he can like move the moon and make it essentially winter all the time, and there would be no summer vacation that way.
What?
And it's crazy and it's
That's
awesome and it's
bullshit.
adult humor. It's a good movie and it begins summer. They exit summer, or they get into summer at the beginning of this movie, and it plays into everything you want to see as a kid.
Can I just
I
point
rest
out
my
real quick
case.
that Brandon, throughout that entire spiel, Brandon was holding the DVD of that movie
He was
and like
holding the
gesturing.
DVD and flailing it around like a maniac. Oh,
No, but I do like as weird of a pig as that sounds, I do definitely feel like that's actually a pretty good summer movie. I remember seeing that movie as a kid and just being like, wow, like this is actually kind of fun. Because like I wasn't as big of a fan of Recess as like the TV show as Brandon was, but like this movie was just like kind of like it was just off the rails all the time, but like in like this like kind of childlike, but still like retaining this kind of maturity to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, I definitely do like understand the what's the word, like thesis behind why Brandon chose this movie as his first pick. So far, I
Well,
think we're
yeah.
actually doing pretty good with our picks. I wonder how this is going to go because I feel like we're approaching the topic of summer in different ways.
yes.
Um, so we're gonna have to see how this goes. But yeah, I definitely do think Recess is a solid movie choice.
We
You,
still,
Ethan?
we still have that bet, Brandon. I I have barely seen any episodes of Recess, and Brandon and I made a deal that I'll watch Recess because it's all on Disney Plus. If Brandon watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is one of my favorite animated series of all time, I'm still willing to you to that. So I've never seen this movie. I watched that one episode about the stickers. Was it stickers or cards?
Stickers,
Where
bond stickers.
they created an economy. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
I'd like throw some on in the background or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
But okay, solid pick. Is that our first animated film in stacked?
Oh, it might be.
God damn it! Why does Recess have to be the first animated
because it's a good movie.
film?
All
All
right,
right,
Ethan.
I'll go with number two. So my second one, I feel like really well captures the mid of summer really well. Where I don't think any movie has ever made me feel the heat and the emotion of summer.
I know where this is going.
And Spike Lee's "Do the Right Thing."
Yep,
I
there
thought
it
about
is.
that.
I
Oh,
knew it immediately.
this is still my favorite Spike Lee movie. It's it's so powerful. It's so entertaining. It's such a beautiful film. I love the cinematography and the lighting and the coloring in this film. It's so vibrant, and the majority of this movie, like you're having a good time, but then this like the subtext and all of its themes, it's really powerful, and like I can't get those final minutes of this movie out of my head. You know what? Like I read up some facts that like this movie was originally at Paramount, and when they screened the film, they didn't like that Sal and Amuki were not friends at the end. You know that they sort of like they didn't make up completely, and Spike Lee was like he was adamant in not changing it. So like a couple of days later, their movie was at a completely different studio because Paramount just completely dropped it because of that ending. which is crazy.
To me, it's
But
evident that like you picked a list that was like super serious.
really,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you eat your words on my last film.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, I know what your last movie
I
is.
immediately thought like, oh wait, I can't wait for the last film now.
But
But
yeah,
it's a variety of emotions. You got
right.
fear, you got anger, you know, but also compassion. I feel like there's a lot of compassion in Do the Right Thing.
Mhm.
And like the themes of community during the summer. Like I didn't grow up in like a big city like Brooklyn, you know, but going out into Salt Lake City during the summertime, like you feel like people out and about and enjoying each other's like company, you know? And I feel like that one neighborhood during that one time of day, it takes place during an entire day, right? Just one day. It's been a while since I've seen it.
I think it's a few days.
A few days? Okay. Maybe it's a few
Yeah.
days. I'm not sure. Leave it down in the comments if we're wrong or not. Sorry. But yeah, my second pick is Do the Right Thing.
I think that's a good choice. I like Do the Right Thing quite a bit. I think the characters in that movie are really solid. I think it's really pertinent to today, and I think the heat of summer really plays into that. And I just love that it's like such a diverse movie, and I don't think this is a movie that will ever fall out of American, uh, like the American iconography. So yeah, it's a good pick.
Yep. Yeah, I remember when we watched Do the Right Thing in class. And that was actually my first time seeing it. And I remember just being like so in awe of the film and like having so much fun in throughout the beginning and the middle, but the ending just kind of like it almost like you almost like forget about like all the problems until the end. And then the end hits you with such like a force that like it reminds you like, don't look away, do the
Yeah.
right thing, all that. So like, yeah, I definitely do see that like why this film is so important to so many people and also why it's a great summer pick.
It sort of teases you throughout the film with these discussions of race, you know?
Yeah.
And then once the cops come in at the end and then they do their business, you know. Don't want to I don't know, they don't want to spoil it. But cuz the ending is so powerful if you haven't seen it. I don't
Mhm.
want to spoil it, but
Yeah, it's spoiled it.
just it it's a roller coaster of emotions,
For
that
sure.
film.
Yeah. I also think like Ethan, you approached this like list with this idea of like showing the vast range of emotions that summer can give you. And I think I also did a similar thing in terms of like, not just showing like the happiness, ice cream, and going to the beach side of summer, but also just like the more nuanced intricacies of what makes this season meaningful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think Do the Right Thing does like tend to that idea very well.
But I also like I brought up the heat earlier in this film,
Hmm.
and I love the juxtaposition between, not really juxtaposition, just like the connection between the heat of the summer and the heat of these arguments. You know,
Mhm.
like Spike Lee kind of tries to make the connection that like these people's emotions are being expressed through the temperature, which is insane, and like how they're just able to display like the sweat and on everybody, and like how they want to get like they need to cool off and stuff like that. It speaks more than ever to today. I think substitute the heat for quarantine, and I think like you can start to understand a lot of what's going on to what's going on today because of
It's
that.
it's one of the few movies that like is really great at communicating the difference between being in a hot place and a cold place. And the other movie that I would say does that really well is Snowpiercer.
Okay.
Um, is like in Do the Right Thing, when it's outside, it's the color of the like the walls and the street and like the way it's portrayed. And then when you're inside, like they have the ice cubes and the air conditioning and like this whole like the fire hydrant section where like they keep spraying people with the fire hydrant water. And that's like really great because Spike Lee's really great at communicating the difference between the two and how like things can get really out of hand if everybody is always in the heat and doesn't like share the wealth in terms of air conditioning because like not everybody in Harlem or wherever they are can afford it.
Right. All right. Stay tuned next episode where we do temperature films, movies about how temperature is conveyed. But yeah, that's my number 2.
All right.
Chris, what is your true number 2?
My true number 2. Okay, so my second movie is it's a movie that I think the three of us actually do quite like, if I remember correctly. It's a movie from 2019. Brandon, I know Brandon really likes this movie. He's recommended it to me so many times. He has seen the director's cut of it. It is Ari Aster's Midsummer.
Whoa.
Yep. I think this, like I said earlier, Ethan, I really like the idea of like showing the vast range of emotions, feelings, and themes of the summer season, not just confining it to like the happiness of, that's typically associated with it. I think Midsummer does that very well.
Okay, bud.
Yeah, but like I felt like this was a very poignant film, detailing things about life such as like like human conditioning through faith, moral subjectivity, coping mechanisms of grief, and like to place such like heavy and like almost like cold themes into such a warm setting. I felt like that was such a great way to like juxtapose these themes with something that is so seemingly beautiful. And yeah, I think it does a great job with like explaining how like summer as a season is something that can, is not only about the happiness of things, but also like can be, almost ironic in how it can, be the complete opposite of that. Kind of like how people always say like, like Christmas is such a happy time, but people sometimes say like the holidays are tough on some people. So I feel like that's kind of like, that kind of juxtaposition is really poignant. Love to hear what you guys think, especially Brandon, because I know you love this movie.
Tough is a understatement when it comes to this movie. Tough for people.
Yeah, she goes through hell through this movie.
I gotta rewatch this movie.
Yes.
And maybe I should watch the director's cut, because when I liked it, Brandon, we talked about this. Like, I think I fell for this movie's mismarketing, where I thought it was going to be a straight up horror movie, like Hereditary. But so I sought out this film with my parents. I brought my parents to this movie. Oh my god! Why did I do it? But when we saw this together, I took its shock elements more as the director trying to scare me, where I just found like a lot of the imagery gross. And I was like, that's not scary, that's gross. That's weird. I don't really like this movie. So I gave it 2.5 originally. But like, I think it has some of the most iconic sequences in 2019.
Yeah.
Like the cliff sequence.
Yeah.
The orgy. And I joke with my parents that like, because we're all of Norwegian and Swedish descent, that we're like, finally somebody has expressed that Scandinavians are some of the scariest motherfuckers on earth.
I think it's an anti-summer movie, Like Chris said, it doesn't really play into the joy of it at all. Like even in Jaws, at least like there's like the beach and people trying to have fun. It's just there's a shark ruining it. In Midsummer, it's like it takes the heat of Do the Right Thing and puts it in such like an interesting environment, adds drugs to the mix, and it's just this psychedelic, psychological horror movie that really, I think, takes a really introspective look at not only the season but its characters. I love it personally. I think it's one of the best movies of last year, and Florence Pugh got robbed of a Oscar nomination and Oscar.
She did.
The fact that she got nominated for Little Women and not this is weird to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh
They're both
God.
good movies, but
yeah,
Little Women.
That she was far better in Midsummer. But Midsummer is that's a great pick because you just don't expect it because of like the themes of what a summer movie should be, and then when it ends up being in the end.
Right.
It's very dire, like our pandemic movies.
Anyways, back to pandemic movies.
No.
But yeah.
Great. Brandon?
All right. My number 2 You can't have summer without the dog days of summer.
Hold on, he's pulling out another DVD, folks. I see. I don't know what movie it is yet, but he has a DVD in his hand. Not even a DVD case. It's just a DVD. What do you got, Brandon?
You can't have summer without baseball.
Oh,
And that's why you gotta go with The Sandlot.
okay. I thought my third pick was going to be the most divisive. I think you take that one.
The Sandlot's a divisive summer movie?
I don't know if it's divisive. I haven't seen this
divisive
movie in years.
in where I don't think we're gonna necessarily gonna pick it.
Oh. No, I do not want this on the list.
Okay, well, let me explain to you why I picked this movie, since I've already been discarded.
All right, fine. Fine, convince me.
This is a movie about childhood, and as you can see by my picks, the first pick was very elementary school level, primary school, and then this one's more like junior high. You know, these are kids like growing up, learning about the world, and all they care about is baseball, you know? And this is about friendship, and who doesn't love friendship and playing the greatest game of all time with your friends, you know? It's wonderful. I rewatched it. It's a little worse than I remember, but quite honestly, it's one of the best summer movies, and there's a lot of American imagery in it that's beautiful. The 4th of July scene where they're playing baseball at the field in like the dark and then fireworks start going off is beautiful and Americana at its finest.
The only scene I remember from this movie, I think the last time I saw it was when I was 4, is when they're getting the ball from the dog, right? That happens?
Yeah, that happens.
I'm not going crazy.
Yeah, that happens.
And that traumatized me, my little 4-year-old brain. Like, I thought that was the scariest shit ever. But that's all. But I haven't seen the movie since. I just remember they get a ball from a dog. And in my opinion, that doesn't really scream summer to me. From what I remember.
No, it takes place in the dog days of summer. And they're growing up. And this is like, you don't understand. You don't understand this movie.
You wouldn't get it.
You wouldn't get it. Chris definitely wouldn't get it.
Yeah, but it's because I'm not some red, white, and blue-blooded American.
Ethan and I just both saluted.
Chris, have you seen this movie?
No, I have not. So I'm hesitant to like even give an opinion on it because I literally have. I mean, the only thing I know is that it's about baseball. I know Joey likes this movie. I think he's talked about this a couple times, but I think it's because he really likes the movie Benchwarmers.
Benchwarmers sucks, and I haven't even seen it.
What? Ladies and gentlemen, we do not we condone hating on movies that you haven't seen.
No, we don't.
Do not.
We don't condone it, and I'm sorry for any Benchwarmers fans out there, but I just think it looks like a dumb movie.
Brandon. Today we're going to teach Brandon a lesson of don't judge a book by its cover. He's speechless.
Yeah, he's just staring at us now.
Chris, let's get away from this subject.
Okay.
What's your? No, wait. Did you already do your second?
I've done my second, so we're moving on to third. So now it's your turn.
So it's me.
Your
it's
final,
me.
I know your final movie.
Yeah, I think I know it too. But go ahead.
All right. I watched my final movie today, but I didn't log it until after this is recording. My final movie, because it takes place on the last day of summer. Takes place during all one day on the last day of summer. Wet Hot American Summer.
I knew it.
Yes, I knew it was gonna be this.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure if this movie's as classic as I thought it was. I rewatched it again today. Holy shit, do I love this movie.
Underrated.
And it's so it is the true definition of a cult classic. It was made for 1.8 million. It made 300,000 at the box office. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
So even with that small budget, it bombed. And over time, it gained such a status to make not just one, but 2 Netflix series that are like, it's a prequel and a sequel, which is hilarious. But God, this movie, it is ahead of its time. Let me tell you that. That's probably why it bombed and critics hated it, because so much of its sense of humor is like it's internet age humor, which is insane because it came out in 2001. And it's got a stacked cast. Stacked. Name drop. It's got a stacked cast. It's got Paul Rudd, my boy, my love. It's Bradley Cooper's first film. Elizabeth Banks' first film. It's got who else is in it? It's got some other TV actors.
Michael Showalter.
Yes, of course.
Janine
Scoop.
Garofalo.
Janine Garofalo.
Chris
Yeah.
Maloney.
There you go. Chris Maloney as Gene.
Yeah.
I just watched this movie today. I can't remember any of the actors' names. As I.
H. John Benjamin.
Yep. There you go. Thank you for reading the Wikipedia article for me.
I'm not reading the Wikipedia.
I can see you looking at a computer screen right now.
Well, that's because I'm doing the podcast.
You're playing a game?
Yeah, I'm playing
the podcast. How dare you?
No.
Put your attention over here, goddammit. No, but like, this is another insanely inspirational movie for me. Like in terms of comedy, I love how insane they dial things up, how over dramatic they make everything. Mm-hmm. They started parodying 80s like material before like that really took off, like 20 years, like 10 or 15 years later, you know, like now you see 80s parodies everywhere, but this, like it parodies like the summer romance, the summer camp experience. I think one of my favorite things is a scene between Janine Garofalo and like the astrophysicist, and she's like questioning him about like his job, and just out of nowhere he says, "I don't want to talk about it." Oh, I'm sorry about doing that. It just comes out of nowhere and shit like that. And whenever they throw an object off screen, it does like the classic ceramic pot breaking sound effect, no matter what the object is.
Yeah,
and it kills me every time.
It could have been so generic, but it
could have been, but it's not, and it completely defies expectations. It's incredibly ahead of its times in terms of LGBTQ themes. You know, my favorite joke in the film actually is when Bradley Cooper and Michael Ian Black, after they get married, and one of the campers like, you think they're going to do something homophobic and like bully them, so they go, "Hey McKinley, this is for you," and they bring out a Crate and Barrel couch as like a wedding gift. They're like, "Yeah, it's got the gift receipt. You don't like it, but like, here, this is from us to you." And it's just like, it's really fucking funny.
I thought about choosing this movie, but I knew you were gonna choose it.
Oh really?
Yeah, I that was the first thing I thought of when I thought Ethan's gonna choose this movie. And yes. I haven't seen it in forever, and I've only seen one of the Netflix series. The first one they did?
The First Day Camp.
What, I think so. Was that the first one?
First Day Camp, then 10 Years Later. First Day Camp is really good. I think 10 Years Later is good, but it's not as good.
Right. And I really enjoyed the movie. I just haven't seen it in forever. Although my favorite scene in that entire movie is when Paul Rudd's at the table, refuses to eat, and she's like, he doesn't refuse to eat. He's eating, and then he gets really upset and knocks.
He doesn't even get upset. He's just done eating. He just knocks it all off the table.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's like, "Are you gonna pick that up?" He goes, and like limps over and picks everything up.
I love
Paul Rudd is. It's probably outside of Ant-Man my favorite performance of his is in this movie. Chris, have you seen this movie?
Yeah, I have. I think I remember watching this with like Joey way back ago. Like I remember. Because like the thing is, I've heard about this movie before, but I had no idea what it was about. I didn't know about any of the actors. So seeing Bradley Cooper and Paul Rudd's movie was just hilarious to me. And I think, if I'm correct, this is one of Bradley's first roles.
Yeah,
this is his first film. And yeah, I mean, like the visual humor of this film is just so freaking funny. And like like you said, like the bit where like you throw anything off screen, a ceramic pot breaks. Like there's something just so stupid, but like really funny about that. And like I don't know, it's lighthearted, it's fun, it captures like the innocence, but also just kind of like the insanity of the summer season very well. Yeah, pretty much every joke I think lands. Like it has been a while and it has faded from my memory a bit, but like most of the jokes I do feel like I remember laughing pretty hard at, and like it's a very satisfying film.
You should.
I feel like
because I gave it a 3.5.
Yeah.
God damn.
And I don't think that's right based on what I remember from seeing the movie, which I own. So.
Oh, one of my favorite like ongoing bits in the movie is Molly Shannon's character. She's like the arts and crafts teacher, and she's trying to get over her breakup with her ex-husband. Mm-hmm. And like these 6-year-old kids are like helping her work it out.
Yeah.
And they're like so much more mature. And then at the end of the movie, she marries one of the kids, which is a little weird. But again, it's like it's that insane absurdist. It's like it doesn't mean anything by it, but it's so fucking funny.
This is stupid I can get behind because it's actually smart.
Yes. I read none of this
That's a
movie
good way
was
to put it.
improvised. It all followed the script.
That's amazing. It
Yeah.
feels so improvised.
Oh,
I know.
That's nuts.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my final film. Last day of camp, last film in the stack. Come on. Wet Hot American Summer. Okay, Chris.
All right. Number 3. So my third pick, I was kind of hopping between 2 different movies in my selection, and I kept going back and forth, but I decided to go with a certain one because I feel I wasn't sure if you guys have seen the other one I was going to pick. The other one that I'm not picking is 1994's The Little Rascals.
What? You want to know a fun fact about me?
Yeah, go for it.
I have seen every single episode of the Little Rascals original show from the 1920s.
But you haven't seen the movie?
I've never seen the movie, but I have sat through some of the most racist, sexist shit in my life. Every single episode of that fucking show.
Do you have guilt?
I have so much guilt. But like my cousin and I, we would hate watch it with our family.
Oh, really?
When we go to, like, we have the whole pack at our cabin out in the middle of nowhere, and when it's really late, we just throw on some of those episodes to just like heckle how dated that show is. It's insane. But how's the movie?
The movie is, I'm not gonna lie, the racism is toned down a lot, but it does kind of venture into sexism.
Well, is the He-Man Woman Haters Club still there?
Yeah, that's still there. But like the movie, like by the end, like they learn like to be nice to girls and shit like that. But yeah, I mean, like it is a very charming movie. I don't know why I'm talking about it because it's not even my pick. Anyway, moving on.
So forget everything we said.
Forget everything we just said. That was just for fun. The actual third pick for my movie, for my stack, was a movie from 2017. It was nominated for Best Picture. I know you guys are. I know Ethan likes it. I think Brandon's okay with it. Do you guys?
Oh, yeah, I think I know what it is.
It's Call Me by Your Name.
Yes.
I disagree.
I can see Brandon shaking his head already. Okay, so I'll be honest. I actually gave this movie the same rating Brandon did, but I want to play devil's advocate for this film just this one time. Brandon has got his hands on his eyes. He's about to cry. Yeah, I do like. There are definitely like some aspects of this film that I'm not a huge fan of, but I don't know. I felt like the movie's like encapsulation of like the experience of like a summer quote unquote fling that evolves into something much more meaningful. Like the sense of like lust and lingering that this movie gives you, and just like you just feel every bit of these characters, even though like I do have some shall I say qualms with it. So yeah, I mean, but I do feel like this is a very sensational driven film. And like, you know, even though like I was not as emotionally invested as this film in this film as I know like some other people were, the ending of this film where Chalamet is staring at the fire and you can see it tearing into him is really great. Quick side story: Brandon did a full 180 on his opinion on Chalamet after Little Women.
But before, he hated this guy.
I wouldn't call it a 180. I think he's acted in one movie where I thought he was good. But that's Little Women. I don't think he's good in Call Me by Your Name.
Do you have faith in him for Dune?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, I don't know. I felt like this was a very not so much spiritual, but like emotional film in the sense of like you just feel it even if you don't connect to it. It's sensation over emotion, I suppose, is the way I could put it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Ethan, I know you gave this 4 stars, which is the highest of the 3 of us. So what would you say?
Looking back on this movie, we discussed this last episode with The Great Beauty. I think there's
Yeah.
a lot of connections between, well, obviously because they both take place in Italy, but similar in filmmaking, how just the pacing of this film and just the shots of the fine art. I think one of my favorite scenes is when they go to the lake and find that statue.
Oh, the arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I just love the pacing, and it's such a beautiful film.
Mhm.
I totally get why people would have qualms in terms of the age difference. You know,
Mhm.
I've seen a lot of people like, and I won't like discredit you if you're having that opinion. I'll respect that opinion. I'm not gonna say it doesn't bother me, but I guess the director just does a really good job of not making it creepy. Like,
Mhm.
you know, like it makes it look mutual. And now thinking about it, I don't know if that message should be had, associating age gaps with popular LGBTQ film, you know?
Mhm.
But I still think it's a very beautiful and well-made film. And yeah, I saw it. I remember I saw it twice in theaters,
Mhm.
and I got teary-eyed at the end of that Sufjan Stevens song
Yeah.
at the end. Ooh, Brandon.
Brandon's shaking his head, so I think he's got something to say.
I think this movie is really shallow. Like I don't understand the appeal behind it. Like I'm all for LGBT movies. Like I love Brokeback Mountain. I really like Moonlight. But
Those are the
when I want no, they're the only two I can think of right now that I've seen.
Oh yeah, you like LGBTQ movies? Name them all. Yeah, no, okay.
I don't care about the relationship in that movie. They don't have chemistry. I get the summer motivation behind it because it's very beautiful. It does evoke that sensation of like summer love, which I like.
Mhm.
It's just I don't believe them as a couple.
Yeah.
I think they should have casted better. Like Chalamet in the movie plays his typical like an asshole, but like softer on the inside, which is his every character he ever plays. Yeah, I'm here for that. But I don't think this movie is good. It's okay. It's got artistry to it. The music is great by Sufjan Stevens. The visuals are great, but the story and the characters I can't really get behind.
Okay. Well, Chris,
Yeah.
you tried playing devil's advocate for a film.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna help it get on this stack.
No, yeah. I felt like it was just worth acknowledging.
It
And
was
honestly,
worth.
like,
It was
yeah.
yes, I completely agree. It was worth discussing. What a wide variety of summer films we have today.
Yeah.
Wait, I haven't picked my third.
I know, but just so
But
far.
we don't need it. But we don't need it. We could cut it off right here.
I think we're ready to go. Let's.
No.
Okay, Brandon.
All right, go for it, Brandon.
Okay. On my last film, I followed through with my plan, and now this is college and high school summer, the last day before, or the last few days before summer wraps up and you have to go back to school. And that's the movie from 2016, Everybody Wants Some. By
Oh,
Richard
we watched
Linklater.
this recently. This is a
Yeah.
Linklater movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody wants some.
Don't get a copyright strike.
Because I sang it so perfectly.
Yeah. I watched it last night, right before I went to bed. And I think this is like a great college movie because there's really no plot. Like, essentially, it's like just dudes hanging out before they go back to school for their first year of college. And it's like a transitionary piece about what you want to be versus like what you are. Like, I think they label jocks in the movie as like being super dumb characters, and like not this movie, but in most like movies about sports characters. But in this movie, like I feel like each of them is layered and are complex, you know. It's very fun. It has baseball in it again. It's another baseball movie, but it's more about growing and being an adult and becoming an adult through your experiences, you know, like partying, talking with friends, and just having fun. You're not here for a long time, you're here for a good time. That's all I gotta say.
And that's why you're listening to this podcast. You're here for a good time. I've never seen this movie. I gotta admit, I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I'm not up to speed on my Linklater. I think I've only seen Waking.
Boyhood.
I haven't seen Boyhood
What?
either.
I've seen
It-
School of Rock.
I've seen School Rock. I've seen Waking Life, and I've seen.
Before Sunrise.
I can't believe I've seen Before Sunrise.
The middle one.
Middle one. I've seen the second one. I can't believe our professor did that to me, or I didn't get the
Sunset,
chance.
Before Sunset. Yeah.
But yeah, no, Sunrise is the first
Sunrise, the
one.
first one. Sunset, the second one.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that before trilogy, man. God damn it! But
They're so good.
so this is this the end of high school going into college? Is that what this
Yeah.
is?
So no, it's the end of summer, and essentially it's the last few days before they have to like report. So like they're registering for classes because in the 80s they didn't register online. They
Right.
registered via like assignment fairs and club fairs before school. So they show up early to school to get all moved in and stuff. And so it's about them moving into college, making friends, and becoming like, I think, in all purposes, adults. And the main character in this movie is so good. I think he's really underrated and complex. And though I think a lot of people would disagree with me because the movie really doesn't have like a plot, I really take something from it every time.
Yeah, I've often heard that this movie is just guys being dudes movie. So
Kind of is.
that's all I know about this movie.
Right.
Mhm.
It's a good time though. I think we should watch it next time we're
You
all
love
at
some guys just being dudes.
yeah.
On
great,
their own.
yeah.
Just boys horsing around. Just have a good time.
This movie is part of the reason I got into Japan.
Did you? Oh, you wrote about it for your application.
Your application, yeah.
Yeah, because I was explaining like how normally this character archetype of the jock or somebody who's interested in baseball is like this dumb idiot and it's just played for comedy the whole time. But I mean, they try and delve into him, and I really respect that.
Speaking of that, let's just go on a little tangent. What did everybody write for their? So to get into our school, we had to write about a 2017 film. So you wrote about Everybody Wants Some. Chris, what did you write about? I'm just curious.
God, honestly, I don't remember. Did we have to write about a movie in 2017?
I think
Yeah,
it was
it was-
2016.
Oh yeah, 2016. It was a 2016 film that resonated with you.
I know
That
what
was-
Ethan did.
Yeah, you wrote Doctor Strange. I think I'm trying to remember. Okay, I'm like 95% sure I wrote about Your Name,
Oh,
the anime film by Makoto Shinkai.
nice.
The other 5% of me is making me think I wrote about La La Land, but I'm not 100% sure on that because that doesn't sound like me to write about that movie. Yeah, I mean, that's our movies.
Just a little behind the scenes for the viewers of what we've done in the past. Okay,
All right. Well, we have our.
let's run through one more time before we make our decision. So my stack was number 1 was Jaws, number 2 was Do the Right Thing, and then number 3 was Wet Hot American Summer. Chris?
My number 1 was Moonrise Kingdom. My number 2 was Midsummer, and my number 3 was Call Me by Your Name.
My number 1 was Recess School's Out. My number 2 was The Sandlot, and my number 3 was Everybody Wants Some.
Okay.
Such a punk movie,
Sick.
bro.
Does anybody have any pitches for a stack?
Okay, so I think what we have, because our selection so far is very diverse,
Yeah.
and I think we
so-
should own that. We should like make sure we cover a spectrum of what summer is about.
I want Wet Hot American Summer in there.
Yes, me too. Do you agree with that, Chris?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't remember the most about it, but I do think from what I do remember, I would be 100% down to have that in.
Awesome.
If we're trying to go with like to add a little something that's maybe a bit more serious, I feel like the best picks we have are Do the Right Thing and Midsummer.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
That's hard because I prefer Midsummer.
To what? To the
To
right
do
thing.
the right thing. Yeah.
Well, ¿por qué no los dos? Why not both?
Because I want one.
Oh.
Because I want Recess.
No, I don't want
No,
recess.
we're not having recess.
Why? Recess
We
is
already
great
have a
movie.
lighthearted movie.
No.
No,
No.
I don't want
Because Recess is the beginning of summer movie. You know, this is the movie about.
I think Midsummer could be our beginning of summer movie.
It's not.
okay,
It's
well,
literally
well-
midsummer. It says midsummer.
That's not the fucking translation, you dumb.
Okay.
Okay. I can take that. I would take Do the Right Thing in the middle and Midsummer at the beginning with Wet Hot American Summer at the end.
Do you feel? I'm a little concerned that if we combine those movies, it's like two very serious films, and then suddenly we just drop them into Wet Hot American Summer. I feel like we should have like a middleman between them.
Moonrise Kingdom.
Ethan, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, because it's a good, it's
How
a
about-
great happy summer movie, but it's got drama in it.
You ragged on me for Life Aquatic. I am gonna take a stand. I don't want these quirky kids in my summer movies.
Well, then
I
we
would
got
not be opposed to having. All right, how about this? I'm gonna pitch a stack.
Okay.
So, Wet Hot American Summer. I think we agreed like that's a very fun and
Which
catchy.
we
This is
laughed.
out of order.
Yeah, this is out of order. I haven't assembled an order for it. Second, Do the Right Thing. I think the reason I'm going to give that the edge over Midsummer, even though I think I like Midsummer more, is because it's more poignant to what's going on right now, and I think that could definitely be like a very informative watch.
Yeah.
My third film. So I talked about how I want to like create a middleman between serious and comedic. So I'm thinking, if not Moonrise Kingdom, Jaws.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes,
No.
yes.
This
That's a great list.
I
Chris.
don't endorse it.
Whoever thought of that stack? Oh man.
That's just Ethan's movies. Chris.
I
Oh.
know it's all Ethan's movies, but
Chris,
it's a
you're a
good
genius, my man.
Jaws isn't that good.
Everyone send your hate mail to Brandon.
Recess schools out.
No.
Middle ground.
Okay, wait. How opposed? Actually, well, we all like what, and I haven't seen what everybody wants them, so I can't form an opinion. But
neither.
how bad would it be to switch out Wet Hot American Summer for Everybody Wants Some?
Absolutely not.
I don't want that.
I
either.
at least want Wet Hot American Summer in this list.
Yeah, I agree with
Very
that.
Okay.
I like the first list we pitched. We do Midsummer first, Do the Right Thing, Wet Hot American Summer.
I agree with that. Honestly.
How would you? Okay, this doesn't really matter so much, but like, I feel like if we were gonna order this, Wet Hot American Summer should be the middle.
No, it's literally
think?
it takes place literally on the last day of summer.
It's literally the last day of summer. That's true.
And Do the Right Thing at least has some humor in it. So I feel like Midsummer being the first one would it would slowly get more humorous as you went along. So like the beginning of it would be kind of like a dire start or a really like sad start to things. But then, well, I mean, depends on the way you look at the story and how it goes. But and then the next film is like a mixture of drama and comedy, and then the end we know,
straight up comedy.
No, straight up Joker.
I thought you were talking about the stack in whole.
No, and then no, I was talking about Do the Right Thing. But with the end of our stack with Wet Hot American Summer, it's very like comedic and dumb, and you can like sleep at night.
And just like rewatching it, like it's such an emotional ending too. Wet Hot American Summer. It's sort of like it's sort of melancholic, Yeah. He doesn't get the girl at the end because they're fucking kids, it's a high school romance.
Mm-hmm.
He tries the entire film to win her over. He thinks he does it at the end, but then she's like, "No, I'm going back to Andy just because I'm 16 and he's really hot and I just want to have sex."
Yes.
Excellent. All
right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good. Great. Then let's settle. Let's run it down. Chris, how about Brandon? You start us off.
All right. The first film on our list is Midsummer, a very great portrayal, or an anti-summer movie based on its themes and how it's presented, but a great movie nonetheless about a relationship that goes wrong on a very special trip.
Second up, we have Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee, a very poignant film for the modern day, discussing racial prejudice, issues between cultural minorities and against their oppressors, just discussing community and things like that. And yeah, a very, very important film for the contemporary era in America right now.
And to finish off this stack, this movie marathon is Wet Hot American Summer, a classic comedy, a cult classic comedy about finishing up all, like, you got your last day to finish your summer plans, your summer dramas. You got to wrap it up all in one day. Being a kid is a sublime and absurd time. No, I don't know if sublime is the right adjective for this movie.
That's the film studies and you trying to
Whoa,
talk.
this movie's fucking sublime. Is he really humping a fridge right now? Wow. But yeah, it's a high note to end on. It's just a really great time to end your summer and to end your summer movie marathon. Well, there it is, everyone, listeners, viewers. If you're viewing, here I'm waving my hands. Hi. That's our list.
Woohoo.
I'm gonna get murdered in the comments section.
Brandon's gonna get fucking flambéed in the comments for this episode.
Yeah.
But go a little bit easy on him because he got none of his films picked. So I just want to reiterate that Brandon got none of his films picked this episode.
It's the first time that's happened to me.
0. Let's keep it up, everyone.
No.
Just kidding. But yeah, that's Stacked episode 3 summer movies. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to follow us all on Twitter. Make sure to follow Stacked on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I'll leave all the links in the description below. And stay tuned. I'm actually working on some stuff behind the scenes to get us out on more platforms.
Oh.
I'm tinkering.
Oh.
A good friend of mine, shout out Sam Hirsch, sent me some little suggestions on how we can expand this podcast, get it out to more places, maybe set up an RSS feed. So look forward to that. I'm gonna do some more tinkering behind the scenes. But yes, everyone, that's it. That's the show. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll catch you next time.
We'll catch you next time on Stacked, baby. Shibbity-bidi, shibbity-bidi, shibbity-bidi-bidi-bidi-bidi.